welcome to the KBJ After the Show podcast.
Kevin's eyes look insane, but he's got new hair. Virginia is a witch, and she farts in her chair. Jason is a spaz who's got an old man's ass. Welcome to the After the Show podcast.
Alrighty, here we go. Hello and welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast. It is a Wednesday. A very hot one out there again, too.
Ooh, yesterday got a little oveny. Felt a little too warm for this old girl.
I think they said it will feel like about 102 today.
Yeah, it was definitely feeling every bit of 100 yesterday when I hit that wall of heat.
Dang, me and Denny's supposed to have lunch in my dinosaur garden today.
You trying to kill Denny?
It's not the best day for that, I
What a
guess.
dick.
Yeah, well,
What a dino dick I am.
Dino dick.
do you have tables and all that kind of stuff set up there
Yeah,
now?
I got stuff out there.
Oh, nice. Like a little cafe, huh?
Well, that's the plan, is to make it look like that. It's hard trying to make your house into a theme park. It's just not,
Yeah.
it's not easy to
No.
run.
You don't got universal money.
No, exactly.
It's the not so epic universe.
And I have a team really of 2.5 people, honestly.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Bird is just full of bountiful ideas. Yesterday, he shared one with us. It's kind of an extension of Uber Eats. He calls it Guber Eats.
Yeah, I apologize. Funny about that.
Good, because I was waiting for the apology.
Well, I said it wasn't a good idea. I was dreaming, watching Die Hard, and Hans Gruber's obviously a character from Die Hard.
Yeah.
And
No, we got it the first time.
He's like, no, wait. I just didn't explain. It's not the idea. It was the explanation.
that
was the problem.
This is Gruber Eats Die Harder 2.
Yeah, this is the sequel.
I can't get off this roller coaster.
Damn, why are you such a dick?
Yeah. But David, who's been listening to KBJ all the way back to 2003, was driving to Orlando, and he heard the concept of the Gruber Eats. And I believe this thing is taken off because Hans Gruber himself is already
Wow.
got the bag together, and he is ready to deliver. If you're watching us on YouTube right now, you can see that is the Hans Gruber, and he's holding a bag that says Gruber Eats on it.
That tickles my heart.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I love our daily AI contributions. You know, yesterday we had Bob Ross skiing. And then you know what? Bob Roski had an amazing game last night for the Florida Panthers.
Yeah, he
What was it, like
did.
31 saves he had?
That bitch was a brick wall.
Yeah.
See, yeah, that's exactly what the Gruber Eats would. A guy would walk up to your door looking like Hans Gruber, and
Yeah.
you go, "Do you really think you can out eat us, Mr. Cowboy?"
Uh-huh.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker! The whole thing.
Yeah, that's the whole thing, and that's how you end it. You got your own tagline and everything.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, that just kind of sparked new excitement.
Yeah.
It legitimized your bad idea.
Gruber.
One picture legitimized
That's
a
it.
whole 10 minutes of bad idea.
Back in.
I've always said it just takes one.
That's it. That's it. So some people are endorsing Gruber Eats. Love that. Today also Talk Like Yoda Day. Jbird did a very great thought for the day at the end of the regular show in the Yoda voice.
Shitty it was.
At least I went for it. What was that? British Yoda?
I don't know how to do Yoda.
Give us a little Yoda.
Shitty it was.
All right.
That's just not bad.
She tried.
I thought that I was kind of impressed actually.
Thank you.
You got no one to walk away, Virginia.
Okay, bye.
Less is more.
I'm out. Peace, bitch.
Yeah. Hey, can you imagine Yoda ever saying "peace, bitch"? Yeah, what a character betrayal, huh?
It would be.
Yeah.
He can't get a little spicy?
No.
No.
I mean, if you want to talk about how he was spicy slightly in the never mind. Jason, do not fall for this trap.
Yeah, you had something to say?
Nope. I'm good. You're right. It'd be great if he was spicy.
And I love that you were looking at Virginia And I think that's why you backed up, because
You were
you
like,
saw her immediately go, wait, what
You
am I
made
doing?
eye contact, and you were like, oh.
I did. I looked at the Sith Lord and go back out, Bird.
Yeah. It's probably a good call here. Lori putting this on your radar, Jbird. Crown Royal has a whiskey you might want to get. Have you seen Crown Royal's Bigfoot bottle yet?
No.
Is that real?
Oh, she's right.
That looks like AI.
It does.
Is it? I don't know. That's just a whole get used to this world where you don't know what's real and what's fake.
I'm in the liquor store a lot. Let me just clarify.
Yeah, they may
I'm
not-
there on the weekly
But does it
basis.
mean you can't order it?
That Kevin's right. I'm looking it up right now.
I've never seen
Crown
that.
Royal Bigfoot bottle and see if.
That is awesome looking. Man, I'll be so bummed out if that's not real.
I mean, why not?
It's right next to the Bobrovsky bottle.
Yeah. Seems like a great idea.
I don't know, dog. It's
Not
looking
coming up.
It's looking like AI. Damn, we got fucked again.
Yeah, well, it's probably going to be a daily occurrence, honestly, the way things are going. You can't trust anything you see with your eyes anymore. It used to be, it's like, all right, don't tell me, show me, kind of thing. You know, it's like, I don't believe it till I see it with my own two eyes. Remember that saying?
Yeah.
We're
And
gonna have
now, when you see it, it still might be fake.
You got to get rid of that saying. That saying does not apply anymore.
Even in real life, you don't even know what you're looking at.
No, I have no idea.
Was that a rocket? Was it a meteor?
Was it a giant penis rocket?
Well, if it's a rocket, it's a giant penis rocket, typically.
Yeah, so you just don't know. The game be fake. And Becky said a little shout out to Jbird being a gentleman and no longer saying sister. It's lovely witnessing your respect to the beautiful, mysterious honey face. Keep on, Bird. She thinks that you've stopped doing that out of respect to your girlfriend.
Is that true?
Well, I'm a man full of mystery, much like a bottle of Bigfoot whiskey. You don't know what's real or fake.
So you've committed yourself and locked it down, and now no ogling other women. I didn't put the connection together, but she's right.
What are you talking about?
He hasn't said sister.
That's not. I don't think that's true.
Yeah, there might be something to that.
I don't think that's true.
I do.
Well,
Okay. Virginia's going to run with it.
It feels real.
well, so did that Bigfoot bottle.
And Michelle said, yeah, something on your comment today about the woman who was in the rehab facility getting pregnant. And it all happened through a chain link fence. That was one of the more interesting stories that my wife brought home when she used to work for a drug abuse place in Delray Beach.
You could definitely get it in through a chain link fence.
It's kind of like they're making their own glory hole, kind of.
It was, yeah.
Exactly.
That's exactly what it was. Yeah, she just dropped trowel, bent over, and boom, he hit it like that, and she was
way
bam,
easier than
pregnant.
a glory hole looks, too.
Well, I mean, some of these fences are pretty big. How big of a dick do you got? I mean, a lot of dicks could fit through some of those fences.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Most, like 99% of dicks would fit through a chain link fence.
Yeah, unless you're a horse,
Yeah.
you could get it in.
It was really kind of interesting because I think about the stories my wife used to bring home from work then, and I think now that she works, with preschool kids or kindergartners, first graders, something like that. Honestly, the stories, or at least the mentality, honestly is about the same. It really is. Now, the stories are different because you don't have first graders getting pregnant on the playground or anything like that, but
Thank goodness.
Yes, but it's kind of like reminds me of a little kid or drunk adult. You really don't even know, other than just their things or more, but they're like little children.
Little kid or high adult.
Yeah.
That's that's so depressing, I think.
It was just crazy with the stories she'd come home because they had to almost treat them and herd them around like they were little kids.
Yeah.
Like you'd have to take them out. They'd have to be supervised. If they went to the
Tantrums.
bathroom, they had to be watched the entire time. You couldn't trust them to do this or do that. And I was like, you have to babysit drugged out adults the same way you babysit kindergartners. And the stories are very similar.
Yeah, it feels like they're on par.
Yeah, kind of crazy. So she said, yeah, that happens a lot at these sober houses and even staff sometimes. It also happens when men get female staff pregnant.
What?
She was a sergeant at a state prison. She said it happened frequently in the prison system. Y'all have no idea.
I have heard
The
that.
inmates got the female guards pregnant?
I heard that all the way around. I've heard. I think the last story I remember, it was a female guard that got pregnant by a male inmate.
Wow.
There was a female guard that helped the guy escape because they were hitting it. I mean, it happens more than you think, like Kevin's saying. Someone was telling me who was a former corrections officer, like, you wouldn't believe how many times this shit goes down.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. RJ said, yeah, there's more drugs in those places than on the street. And yeah, they get creative. They find ways to get high. And so you're always, when you work in one of those facilities, you're going, I never even thought you could get high on that. So they have to have, everything has to be locked up. They have to put everything away. You have to just think, okay, how could a desperate drugged out adult turn this into something they shouldn't be doing? And every day she'd come on and be like, we never have seen this before. It was crazy how imaginative they become to do things they shouldn't be doing.
If you were wrongfully accused and had to serve 20 years in hardcore prison, and we're talking murderers, some of the toughest on the planet, 20 years you're there, do you get a tat on your neck to kind of toughen up? Show you're not going to take no shit from nobody, or
in prison?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you get a prison tat in your neck so you can die quicker?
Yeah.
When it gets infected?
Right. With some dirty ass needle.
I'm sorry, my friend asked a dumb question.
You're right. I guess I was dumb. But 20 years, you guys, you have to pass the time.
Oh, no.
I just think in 20 years, you know you're not getting out. I think you would maybe try anything at that point.
Yeah, well, I think for survival, yeah, you adapt and do absolutely anything you can.
Gay for this day?
If five guys went into your room and go, "What's up, fresh fish? You want that neck tat?" And you say no, I think your answer is yes. I think you got to get the neck tat, right?
Gotta get the neck tat.
Well,
I gotta
I mean-
weigh the circumstances.
What
What
are
do
you
these
gonna,
guys look like?
well, they're bigger than you.
Yeah. Okay.
There's clearly a leader. I think you have to get the neck tat.
Maybe. Yeah.
Well, what do you do? You fight back?
What's the other option? It's
I
a
don't
neck tat or what?
I think
dot.
a prison neck tat still costs you money to get in prison. Like, you have to pay for that. You have to, like, somehow barter with somebody to give it to you.
Well, a lot of times it's usually just a pen, and they take ink and I think just kind of put it under the skin, don't they?
Well, I think it's something along those lines. I guess my whole thing is, if you were the new guy in prison or the new woman in prison, and people were trying to gang up on you, and you knew that, and they wanted you to do things you did not want to do, and you have no protection, you're a lone wolf, you either have to join in the activity or you fight back. And how do you fight back when you're by yourself? What's your plan?
They want to put a giant dick tat on your cheek.
Hey, I mean,
Yeah.
And it's a dick, and there's also, like, semen coming out of the top of
Wow.
well,
yeah.
do you want to be their bitch for 20 years, or do you figure out a way? I'm alone in this, but I gotta fight back and do something.
I think that's it. On a day-by-day basis, you got to just ask yourself, okay, is the ass kicking I'm going to take going to be worse than a coming penis on my face for 20 years? So, you got to...
Visitations would be tough.
Right.
Caitlyn's going to be like, Dad, that's the tattoo you got?
You look different.
The family's been begging you to get a tattoo, and you get a dick dripping cum on your cheek?
You finally get inked up, but it's a big old dick.
I think that's what it would take for me to get yadded up. It would be a survival kind of thing where it's like, all right, it's either this or pretty much death.
And I don't think that makes you look tough either.
It makes you look like...
It just you become that ward, that whatever that floor is, cum rag, and that's it. You become the floor's cum bucket. I don't want to be that guy. Because you're right. I would take a big ass whooping over that.
You would have to fight. You gotta fight, man.
That one you probably fight your way out of.
You
Because
got
when you
to.
start working it through, you're like, let me think about that. You're going, no, because this is an advertisement that this is where you drop your load.
I think you would have to. I think you would have to try to systematically take down each person when they're one-on-one. You can't beat them 1-on-5. That's going to be tough. So if you have a chance to take them out one by one, that might be your best strategy.
Yeah. Well, and some of these situations too. I think a lot of times, all we ever talk about it's brawn, but I think sometimes there are dudes in prison that use their brains and they know how to manipulate. And they work people against each other, kind of like you would on Big Brother or Survivor or one of those type shows, where that's where I would be always scheming and working and saying, okay, I'm not going to be the brawniest guy in here, but how can I use, hopefully, my intellect, the wits, to try to avoid having to use the brawn?
How do I use my wits and not my tits?
You're going to be a cum bucket.
Cum bucket Pennington? No, man, I'm going to be bones. I'm going to be running cell block.
You're going to be swallowing bones.
Yeah, I think unfortunately a lot of times you got to look at the weakest gazelle, and you have to put all sights on that gazelle and be like, okay, I've got to get the focus off me and on them.
Yes, I talk to my hand. I do the mind games. Oh, you want to talk to Morty? Oh, Morty's my thumb. Morty's always talking to me.
Yeah. And you start little rumors. Like, I would sit down with the biggest guy and be going, you see that dude Pennington over there? I'm like, he sucked my dick yesterday, and it was the best blowjob I've ever had. And that's, you just got to get that word going around. And then everybody's lining up for him, and then I'm okay.
Oh, well, then I'm going to start the same rumor. See that guy? You see Rump Ralston?
Rump Roast Ralston.
Rump Roast Ralston. He has got the best roasted rump in Cell Block E, if you know what I mean. And it's real juicy.
And then you know what I do? I go onto the main floor and I squirt diarrhea everywhere. And I say, gosh, I have terminal diarrhea.
It is juicy.
There's always shit coming out of my ass. And people be like, yeah, all right. Let's go to the guy who gives good blowjobs.
No,
so yeah, you got to work each other against each other.
I lead the league in cankers in my mouth with...
See, this is the games you got to play when you get in prison. You got to work it through.
So you guys are ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Already.
Psychologically, I think you're there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a little bit of a strategy.
The prep feels good.
We use the brain, not the brawn or the butt.
That's it. That's the hopes. I mean, you don't know where it's going to wind up, but that's at least when you go in there. That's the strategy. Know what your skill set is and try to use it effectively for survival.
Now, if we're in it together, do we go in as a couple?
Not as a couple. That's not a good way to put it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We're already kind of spoken for.
No, I don't think they respect that.
All right.
Yeah. Like,
you think somebody would break up the happy home?
Yeah, they'd be like, guess what? It just became a threesome. Somebody would be like, guess what? It just became a foursome. Somebody would be like, guess what? It's just a fivesome. Yeah.
Now it's a cuckold.
Yeah.
I'm going to make
now
you
it's like,
watch
all right, why don't you
fuck
two just bend
Jason.
over and we're going to just form a line. Yeah.
There's a cum bucket and a cum rag.
God, jail sounds awful.
Oh, my gosh. Well,
Look.
our version of jail does.
Don't break the law.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of prison movies. We don't really know how it is, but yeah, I'm expecting the worst.
It's the absolute worst. And you're right, it's a good PSA. Keep your nose
Straight and narrow.
Keep your nose clean.
That's it. That's all the motivation I need to stay out of prison. Got an email here. Speaking of neck tats from Buckley and Jupiter. Yeah, the Queen actually mentioned something. She's like, I ran into the nicest KBJ Nationer. Said yesterday afternoon while I was at work, this very preppy-looking, attractive young lady came into where I work. I graciously helped her as she was leaving. I said, are you Mrs. Ralston? She answered yes. I told her my name, and I told her I was a fan and loyal KBJ Nationer. She seems so polite and nice. I don't think she really does wear the pants in your family, as you often refer to them as being. Don't let her niceness fool you, Buckley. She does wear the pants.
Was it Caitlyn or was it your wife?
My wife.
Oh, okay.
It was the Queen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he's saying wearing the pants in the family. Yeah, I think Caitlyn would vouch that yes, Kim does wear the pants. But yeah, I mean, she's very nice. She's a lovely lady. Got a
Just
big
don't
smile.
cross her.
Yeah, and she's very headstrong. So
I had a lovely time with her on Saturday at our KVJ event.
Yeah, that was fun.
she's a lovely individual. But yeah, she doesn't do anything she doesn't want to do. So
We were
that's-
making plans for Mardi Gras. I think you're going to Mardi Gras, Ralston.
Yeah, I know.
She seemed like she was really into it.
Well, that's it. It's, through all these years of marriage, I know that's what it is. When people ask me, I'm like, it's all about her. I'm down for everything. So if you get the queen involved and if she's on board, then let's do it. Yeah, the queen was talking about she wants to camp out with your sister in a tent. I'm like, why in the hell would you do that? I'm like, I am not down with that.
My sister does this thing at Mardi Gras where she saves a spot. But some years you've had to actually camp out on that spot to hold the spot. And so it's like a whole bunch of people that do this. Now, every year it's different. They change the rules, and from one year to the next, it could change. But in the past, my sister has slept out at the spot. The past year, she paid a crackhead some money to sleep out at the spot, and he was all too happy to do it.
Dang, okay.
How do you know it was a crackhead?
I don't know. I didn't see the person, but I would assume from the way that she'd tell me he behaved.
Because as soon as she gave money, bought crack with it.
She said he was a little twitchy.
She saw him go buy crack and smoke it in the park.
Then just laid right down, passed out on the spot.
He was a little twitchy and
Now,
squirrely.
it was hard to get up the next morning. So you had to just stand all around. Who's this crackhead we're standing right on top of? He's not moving. Yeah, Caitlyn is in the chat. She said, you must have run into my mom post Bloody Mary. Yeah, she probably had a wine going. She was very happy. Caitlyn's trying to say she wears the pants in the family. Okay. Caitlyn is the one that you got to get on board. So I know if anything's going to go down, if I get Caitlyn to kind of buy into it, that's how you do it. It's all a little strategy. It's manipulation, just like our trip in prison, Bird.
Caitlyn is quietly powerful, though.
Yes, she is. Yeah.
I like that. She's got that strategy. I don't know how to do that. I'm too loud. She's quietly powerful.
Well, that's the move in prison then. Mm-hmm. Those quiet moves.
It is, yeah. It is. Yeah, I don't think you have to be the overbearing person at all. I think you'd be the quiet person and be like, don't mess with him, man. He's always manipulating and MFing people behind the scenes.
So you do not subscribe to the idea if I go in there as Bones the first day, as Fresh Fish, go up to the biggest guy and just club him punch him for no reason. Bad strategy, right?
No, if we were going in together, I'd tell you do it.
Focus off of Kevin.
Yeah. I'd be like, dude, that's a great idea. Get that done.
Hit him in the nuts.
Yeah. Actually, bite him in the nuts.
Unleash.
You got to look like you're a junkyard dog. And dogs bite. They don't punch. You just get his nuts right in your teeth and just, just back and forth, baby.
Junkyard dogs love Bones.
That's
it all plays.
Like, I'm a dog. I bite.
That's right.
Let them know you got them teeth.
That'd be so easy to manipulate.
Now, this is an interesting thought. Client sent an email about the Casanova killer, claiming to have killed over 70 victims, 70 people.
Yeah,
what's that?
Keep in mind, though, these guys, they love to inflate their numbers when they get arrested. And if they can't find a body, you can't really give them the count.
Okay,
You know
that's
what I'm
how it
saying?
works.
Well, they all do that, and if it's sick,
You just can't claim it.
well, no, unless there's some evidence they go back and they can maybe link it back to pictures and all that kind, or a receipt.
Mm-hmm.
But when they just claim they killed over 100 people and they don't give names, they don't give details, then they're jerking you off. They want their name out there. They're trying to get out of the clink. They want attention. I mean, people that are serial killers, most of the time, they're very, they're driven by attention and they're very selfish.
Mm-hmm. So if you had to have a serial killer jerk you off, who would it be?
Oh my gosh, Kevin.
Well, you just said
They're jerking you off.
Yeah.
He's gonna kill you after, but it's gonna be a great hand job.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you're gonna at least die relieved.
I don't want to.
You'd be a little lighter.
You're gonna be very conflicted.
Oh my goodness.
I felt so good, but he's killing me.
Oh, that's a rough one.
Okay.
Let me get back to you on that.
Are there female serial killers?
Oh yeah, there are. Obviously not as many as men.
Definitely not Dahmer.
Definitely not Dahmer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want Dahmer.
Who was that pretty guy that killed at Florida State?
Ted Bundy. People
I
always
go Ted Bundy.
people thought he was good looking, and that to me, I thought that was more of the media saying he was good, kind of tricking people into
Do
thinking
you think he was good looking, Virginia?
He wasn't bad.
I mean, we are in the category of serial killers, so
I mean, he wasn't.
there's
he wasn't,
a lot of very
He wasn't
unattractive ones.
ugly like your BTK was just.
Who was that
gross.
clown guy? John Wayne Gacy?
No, I hear
that guy
ya.
not hot.
No, when you put it in that way,
BTK not hot.
When in the field of serial killers, I can see why you would say Ted Bundy was
That
considered good
new
looking.
guy, that Gilgo Beach guy.
No, you don't want that.
No.
dude.
That
Oh,
guy is fugly.
Yeah, he's a large individual too.
Yeah.
He would be the kind of guy you would cast as a villain.
Totally.
Yeah.
He looks like a villain.
The one to me that was the creepiest was Ed Kemper because he was, I think, 6'9". I mean, just
Jiminy.
a giant of a man.
6'9".
And he would pick up college girls. He was also known as the co-ed killer.
Yeah.
And he killed his mom and her friend and did some
Jeez.
unspeakable things, Virginia. And it was the last murder he did.
Whoa.
And he picked up one.
Finish with Ma, huh?
Well, he picked up one other victim and wanted to see if he was able to let her go or not, to see if he had that power, and he did let her go.
Okay.
And I want to say he turned himself in.
Huh.
To said
Interesting.
I'm the co-ed killer.
Wow.
But he was creepy, man, and
Okay.
he did some crazy shit.
So Clyde's question was, why does it take 10 to 30 years to carry out death penalties? Many victims' families have already died before they even see the justice.
It's such shit. I just saw a story not that long ago. They just put to death a guy who killed somebody back like in 91. And the mom was so heartbroken because she goes, I just want this guy dead. Why is it taking so long? My daughter didn't get this kind of,
Stay.
Exactly.
I mean, 91 to now?
Oh, yeah.
That's when I graduated high school.
Insane.
Yeah, I don't get that either. You can debate whether we should have the death penalty or not, but if you're saying, yeah, we do and we can all agree on that, then yeah, what does take so damn long, especially where we have the technology today and the DNA and those kind of things? And I mean, you're not waiting to get more evidence or make it more concrete, so why is there that decades wait?
They get caught up in appeals. And if you have a good enough lawyer, they're able to get you an appeal to set a date for a later year. I mean, some of these appeals take years to revisit. And if you're a murderer, go, oh, thank God, I just bought myself another couple years.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. I never I always kind of wanted that, but I guess I never asked that question.
And different places have different rules, and every case is different because there are some people who have murdered and they've been put to death a lot quicker than other people have. And you go, is that because of where they live at? Is that the attorney? Is that...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Great question. And Mark said, I was run down a YouTube rabbit hole this weekend when I stumbled upon a very cool short film. It is sci-fi, but maybe more in the vein of Jacob's Ladder or Flatliners. It stars Marissa Tomei and Minnie Driver and maybe a couple of other lesser knowns you may recognize. It's about 15 to 17 minutes long, so it's fast-paced and gets to the heart of the story. I know Jbird and Kevin will love this. I think Virginia might even be able to watch it without too much effort. It's called Laboratory Conditions.
Yeah, there's a bunch of short films on YouTube that are free, available, very good. And
It's an interesting approach. I know they tried the Tubi thing where it was, 10-minute episodes primarily?
Yeah, something like that.
And I don't think Tubi really worked, but I was like, is it just because maybe we weren't ready? Maybe it wasn't marketed well? Because would you like episodes being about that length, 10, 15 minutes, where if you just had a short break in the day, you could knock one out?
It all depends on the kind of content it is. There's some content I don't want to end. Then there's sometimes that is 23 minutes and I'm good to go.
Yeah.
I think the short film is a cool niche. And if once you watch it,
It's good to have the option, but you don't want it for everything.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah.
it is. There's a place in the world for it.
Okay. Well, that's one to check out. Yeah, YouTube, I got to tell you, honestly, I'm getting more and more impressed with it. I'm spending more and more time on it because I'm just finding that there's just so much really good content, and it's so easy and cheap now for people to produce that even these people with something in their own home or whatever, they look like they're professional TV studios now with how cheap the lighting is and the cameras look quality. It's pretty amazing, actually, and good stuff.
Yeah, YouTube's my favorite.
Well, and you look at the numbers comparatively to what, for instance, let's say if you're watching like Joe Rogan and the numbers he gets on one of his episodes, he crushes anything that they do on broadcast TV with the amount of views that he has.
A lot of people crush what they have on. That's the knock on people that are the late night talk show hosts, that their ratings don't match even people that are on YouTube or on their own platforms.
Yeah.
And they're getting those big contracts. Now, they'll argue saying, well, you have to look at our social media numbers too. We're not just TV anymore either.
You got to put it all together.
You got to put it all together.
Yeah, because I do still see the late night content, and I'm not watching any of that stuff live.
Exactly. You'll see a Jimmy Fallon clip, but you're not tuning in at 11:30 to watch Jimmy Fallon like you used to, or like a Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't watch content that way anymore.
That's true.
Do you still like the late night TV format?
No.
I don't necessarily either. The interviews don't really do a lot for me, just sitting there watching a celebrity, because they're more guarded in their stuff. I like seeing a celebrity on a YouTube more because it just feels like you're going to get to something a little bit juicier and there aren't any barriers that you're going to have on broadcast TV.
I think people are kind of, and I'm not saying everyone, because I'm sure there's some people that still love those shows, but to your point, if you watch it, it seems very scripted. And I think scripted stuff, when it comes to interviews, I think it's outdated. I think people want a real conversation.
Genuine.
Yes.
Honest answers, not something that's been practiced and contrived.
And I get it. Jimmy Fallon does those music numbers, and those are segments. So I think that you can get away with those kind of bits. They're produced, even though he acts like, oh, we just thought it was on the spot.
I'm blindfolding you. You have no idea.
But you're still doing a song and dance, and you're giving a form of entertainment compared to if you're interviewing somebody and that just sounds so scripted and they're telling a stupid-ass story that fucking sucks.
But the most interesting celebrity interviews I've seen over the last couple of years have come from like a Call Her Daddy, or even that Hot Ones where they're eating the hot wings.
Yes.
More than I've seen anything that stood out of any of the late night talkers. I don't even know of a clip or an interview that I found interesting at all over the last decade from any of those guys. And there are some interesting celebrity comments that are happening, but they're all happening on YouTube shows.
There's parameters too on broadcast TV that you don't have on social media.
Right. And that's why I think the true celebrities, they really want to, hey, if I'm going to say something, I'll say it on a podcast and it'll get out there. Everybody else will pick it up and talk about it, and I can just do the one thing and then no holds barred. Let's do it and do it the right way. And they, the other thing too that a lot of people don't realize, that ticking time clock, that's one of the things, like, it's so annoying when we have to do the regular radio show, because you're always, you're like, I would love to just relax and talk about this for 10 more minutes. And you're like, no, I got to play 800 commercials.
And make sure you talk about this.
You got to be on time, and you got to hit at a certain mark and all that kind of stuff.
Don't forget to plug the station contest, Kevin.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
You got to remember a lot over there.
Well, it's hard to ever really get into anything that deep and really kind of have it go somewhere where on a podcast it could go all different ways because you're not under that time.
Yeah, it's the format of those kind of broadcast shows, whether it be radio or TV. It's not conducive to me get what you want out of now that you've seen YouTube be able to do, or even our after the show. It's a lot nicer to be here and be like going, oh damn, I don't have to do a code word.
Free form fun.
Yeah,
things can just happen.
Right, and we can't go on tomorrow and talk about how to survive prison. Could you imagine how we'd have to edit that up for the regular show?
That's been my favorite part of today's show. Either show.
You can't have our true strategies on how we're going to survive prison.
We go in as a couple.
Yeah.
We had a lot of room to kind of just make that.
Yes, since you can just say what you want to say. Otherwise, you'd be like, okay, is this going to be to this? Is it to that? Who's listening? What time of day is it?
Cheek dick tack would never happen on the regular show.
Can't do it, Virginia. You can't do it. So there you go. Yeah. Nice format. All right, y'all. Thanks for the emails. You got anything you want to say? Obviously, we don't have many parameters, so send it in to us. Mail at KBJShow.com. Don't forget to tip your Guber Eats driver. Have a good one.